Okay, so I think last time or maybe the time before last, we did like a little mini permanent thing like I sometimes do between decks. It doesn't mean I can't ever use the deck that loses again, but it just means I'll prioritize another one. So we did that, for example, for a 10K draft. Like whenever we get around to doing it, which might still not be, I guess it could be next week. Yeah, I could have done one and I could have almost done two, but then I spent like 12K on the stupid pumpkin pet just because I hadn't gotten one in a long time. And I kind of wanted that skeleton for Halloween, but like from last year, but I guess they didn't put it there, or maybe they'll put it at some other time, which would kind of rub it in my face. But yeah, for the 10K draft, I decided to do green and black as the two colors because I had done like a little format before where like I'm playing as my green deck and my black deck, and whichever one does better in the set of three or something, do a best of three match with both and see which does better. That determined what would do in the draft. Although I thought I would do the draft soon after that, but I guess we're just saving it until the end of this expansion or whatever. Like the mini set or whatever already came out, right? That's what Wilds of Eldraine is. And then you figure you should at least do one of them per expansion, but somehow I find a way not to because of how little I play or how slow paced the series really is. Or like how badly you even perform in them, so you don't get like a rebate to be able to do another one. At least if you win like 4 or 5 games, you might not get a full rebate. I think with 5 you do, but even if you average like 3 or 4 wins, you can do pretty good. You don't have to average 7 like Hearthstone, but then again, there's not like a max of 12 potential, so it's interesting how that works. But no, I did the same thing with the red deck. So I had made a new Goblin deck, and then I had my old Sarkhan deck, which I wasn't really rooting for. I wanted the Goblin deck to win just because it's kind of more fresh. It's something I haven't used a lot. It seemed to be at least better. Sarkhan hasn't traditionally been that good of a deck, and I always shit on dragons for being so stupid value. Like, you have to get a mythic to just be a 4-mana 4/4, or you have to yeah, I didn't even finish some of these. White or green. I'm not going to really play as green. Blue or green, or I guess I'll be forced to, but mainly I want to play as the Sarkhan one, or maybe I will do a draft, but not if it's, I don't mind doing it with gems, right? So I like to have a surplus of gems just to, I haven't done a single one since this expansion came out, and I had enough when it first started, but I guess I just didn't. Yeah, what did I do with it then? I guess that was part of the surplus. I just saved it and eventually bought the pet, and I had some left over, I guess, after doing that. Quick draft. At the beginning of playing this, I didn't want to do the 10K draft because it seemed like too much of a commitment. And like, even if you perform badly, right, it's going to kind of really punish you for it. Whereas with a 5K or a 2K, you don't really care because I did do like a little mini draft for like 2,000 or 5,000 or something like that. Yeah, see if I had like 1,500 here, but that's going to take a while to get there. This is pretty cool art. Select one card at a time. Whatever. So whenever, or what I wanted to do is like the quick one, right? Like, yeah, or a traditional draft. This is still 10K and you get to keep the cards, right? Add it to your collection, but it only is 3 games. And so even somebody who plays like short, shitty sessions like this, which again, I wouldn't hold that against the game if it didn't have this option, but it is kind of nice because you get the same result, just a lot faster and whatever. If you win 2 games, you almost get a refund. If you win 3, you get more than a refund. But of course, it's not like best until play until you lose 3. It's just play until you lose, or whatever. Play 3 total and see what happens. Yeah, that would be the one I want to do. And so we are saving for that. If I could combine the gems with that, you could probably almost do it right now. But let's see what's new on the store. Some of them, somebody actually made a review of that. For some reason, I was looking at the reviews of Magic Arena sometime when playing something else, and it's like, oh, we got to get that spooky Halloween sleeve. Let's see what they actually are. Right, I like that audio effect, but what is you won't get that during the course of the game, will you? Since when do they come with sounds? Or give them animations and stuff too? I always hate the borders. Like, look at that on the bottom. This could pass off as that Fernando Clown guy from fucking Paladins. And somebody said in a review kind of the same thing that I said before, like, not only do they charge you for these shitty card backs, but they're like literally drawn by a kid sometimes. Like, these aren't too bad, but there was one that literally looked like a little kid drew it, like one of the interns for the game's kid, and nobody can say anything because, oh, it'll hurt their feelings. So I've almost never bought packs in the experience of playing this game, right? Because you want to save for drafts anyway, at least in theory. I almost don't want to look through this because if there's something I like, but I was so lucky to get the my second ever 10K draft, and my last one, I guess, up till now was right when they were doing the anniversary event, and so that gave me this very sick card back that I'm still using now, which is which is which here? I don't even know. I'll do like a rotation between these three, just that to do the daily quest or whatever, but I shouldn't do like super long intros because of how short these episodes are anyway. But I've pretty much given up on getting to rank 45 because it's probably, yeah, you only have to like the end of the month, right? Or like the middle of next month. So I wanted that one card back from here pretty badly, but it's just impossible to do. Even if I was to buy, which this has been 100% free to play, but even if I was to buy the reward track, there's not another orb there, right? So because there's no orb up to where I am, like there's no orb anywhere. You would still have to get to rank 45 anyway, so that's so fucking bullshit, right? But yeah, you would get this very sexy card back here, but that's an insane amount to play. I'd be lucky to get to rank 35, which I barely did last month. So yeah, you have 21 days. I mean, unless I do like really insanely long sessions or I do something that really rewards me here. So let's just do best of ones. I've done best of threes a lot lately, and we're not really proving anything with it now. So the goblin one is kind of out, right? Which at least I think is what this one is. It would have to be. So we'll leave that one for now. Again, it doesn't mean we can't use it, but the flip side is if I had won that episode with this deck, I'd be using this a lot more, and I almost would give up on Sarkhan, but he earned his keep there. We did this like a character point system, like what I did in Pokemon Y or something. Like if you perform really good, like wow, Pidgey had a clutch moment that saved me from that one fight on the beach that fucking I didn't know what Sky Battle meant, that Beedrill couldn't compete, so therefore, you know, I had my big guns there and he wasn't able to fly, even though he has wings and he's fucking flying in his picture. So the point is, Pidgey saved me there, so then I bumped him up in the rotation when I wasn't sure I was going to use him. So it's the same thing here. Like, Sarkhan outperformed my expectations, and so now he earned his keep here. Not that I can't change these decks, but that's the one thing I've been really lazy about doing. So let's just keep doing that one. I don't know what the difference actually is in these two. Maybe I should just use only one of them. 65... Wait... Well, I assume I wouldn't want to use that then. New deck. Alright, let's just do those two. We'll do the green and this one and see which one does better. But this is just kind of for sport, because it doesn't really matter. We'll just rotate between them. Or no, how about whichever one does better, we'll do a best of three. So whichever one does better in the best of one. Normally I would do it like the opposite, but I'll even lead with green. Or yeah, we'll play until we lose one and see which one does better. And then we'll do a best of three with that. So even though I'm trying to commit to Sarkhan, I can't resist my green temptation, but partly it's just to be able to do the daily quest. Which for me, again, becomes like a weekly quest or a monthly quest. Once you achieve a rank badge, you can't lose it until the season ends. Oh, any of them? Even like, I thought once you got to a certain rank, it would let you get kicked out. Yeah, that's even proof that I got to rank 35 in the one. How did I even do that compared to like what we see now? Is that what it was, or was it 25? Oh no, I think what we're supposed... No. It was 25. What I'm supposed to get to this month is 35. And so I'm like over halfway there, but I only have a month left, and clearly you just have to play the game a lot more. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I love deck variety. Also, I do the same fucking shit over and over, which even I'm getting a little bit sick of. Not because I don't like the decks, but I mean, I can see how stupid it looks. Like, you know, just every week I play the game for an hour and I play the same fucking deck every single time. And it doesn't get boring because that's, on one hand, I'm not playing the game that much overall. But on the other hand, you know, I space it out so much so it doesn't really feel dry. I almost look forward to it. I can't wait till I use that hexproof mechanic that I love so much. Which is honestly better in this game than it is in others. You know, it's the idea of can't be targeted or something. He's a rat, but he's not a snitch. Ha ha ha. Whatever, some meme-worthy New York City video that the guy says that and everybody cheers. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, impact tremor, deal 1 damage to each opponent. This is a little bit scary, and it's not like I have a lot of healing, but I don't know what I can really do. I could rebuke it. Maybe not yet. I mean, I could block a couple of these type of things. This thing can't block for him, and that almost doesn't matter. That's how the plague started. A fucking rat eats something and gets tossed around the house. Lack of hygiene. That's what they got for being so filthy. When harried Spear Guard dies, create a 1/1 black creature token. Okay. Deal 1 damage. That doesn't bother me too much, but there's nothing I can really do about it because I never have a way to... Fuck. I never have a way to actually destroy those, which is obviously just stupid of me, but... Yeah, let's not do the ones that are going to get, you know, give them more. But a +1/+1 counter, okay. There's not much I can do about any of this. What you would have to do is basically just rebuke and survive, which I can't do still yet. Talking about dragons being shitty value, look at this, dude. 5 mana, 2/5, incredible. But again, I do it just for thematic purposes. Like, I want to use every hexproof card in the game, or at least every one that would be playable. I mean, I'm even going out of my way to play as blue, as much as I hate it. But at least I qualify by having 0 water lands, because I just, you know, I get it from other effects. Okay, I'm dead no matter what now, so. Because even if you do this, he'll just get another one. Still something a little bit different. These are the kind of fun stuff you might see in Historic. And that's the whole fun for me too, is like, I wouldn't know if it's like, you know, I wouldn't know the difference if you served your purpose, and I'll kill you too with the mana that you use, the ultimate betrayal. Like, this could be some new mechanic deck with some new cards that came out, or something that's in the meta, or maybe it's not. Like, it doesn't matter to me, just because I wouldn't know the difference, right? It's something I haven't really seen. It's kind of cool. The thing I hate is to see the same thing over and over, which at least you're less likely to do in a Historic format. Secret Lair, Pop Culture Playground. Yeah, it's like one of these ads where they tell you to post on TikTok. This is how you know a game is hit rock bottom. You really want to fucking do this? This is how you want to represent the game. Magic the Gathering is a very serious competitive card game that has a storied history. Also, I just a baby. Ha ha ha. Fucking stupid. The chances are the red is going to do better, but if it doesn't, then we could do a tie break, right? If it doesn't win at least one. And I'll still play until I lose one in this before I do the best of 3. And then after the best of 3, I guess I'll do it again just to give myself an excuse to play green. Not just because I'm addicted to the green deck, but because I basically have to do the daily quest though, right? Yeah, a lot of these cards kind of make the point exactly that dragons aren't very good value and very well statted, because they involve reducing their costs and stuff. You might think makes it okay, but it almost makes you feel redundant. And you could say, oh, because they're flying, that's why. But there's plenty of other things that are flying that aren't poorly statted. Even for green, like even a dragon. Like the 7 mana 7/7. Whether it's mythic or not, it's like you shouldn't need a mythic minion to... And it has a crazy effect. They can give +20/+20 to something. Even you shouldn't need a mythic just to have something that's evenly statted, basically. I can give you extra mana. I do have 3 to play, so I could do this. But flying can be such a cheese mechanic that just completely wrecks you. Yeah, that's always a kind of a bait thing that I fall into, where, you know, it makes it seem like you can play anything. Okay, return. Part of the reason I don't like the whole blue style of play. I mean, I can still replay it, but what's the point, you know? I'm gonna save it to something bigger, I guess. Burnished Heart. Sacrifice it. Search your library up to 2 basic land cards. Yeah, I don't use that to strategize and figure out, like, oh, what am I gonna do against it? I do it more just to see, like, oh, what is this card that I haven't seen before, or whatever. This game really is the ultimate in terms of give somebody a game that just has like infinite cards, and that's in itself just so satisfying to do. Or like, I can't think of a better example of that, of a game that just has like 10k plus cards in the digital space, good player base, stuff like that. Hearthstone has a decent amount, but it's nowhere near that. Even Yu-Gi-Oh kind of fucks it up because actually, I don't know how many cards would be in Master Duel or Duel Links or whatever, but they kind of restrict it or split it somehow. It never feels like any of them really have every card in the game, but maybe it does. Like, maybe Master Duel actually does, and I just don't know. I mean, here you could at least attack with everything, and not going to be able to block the Whelp anyway. This guy's like photobombing the Whelp. We could make a TikTok out of that for their fucking channel. I like how that was always like an ironic form of content, but then it became more normalized. Like, if somebody would react to TikTok, like XUC or somebody, and oh, it's so cringy, and I'm doing it to punish my chat for whatever, right? But then it turns into, oh, now they just do it, period, because they just like to do it. I don't know. 5/5. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put a slime counter up to one other creature. Non-horror creatures the same. Lose all abilities, have the same toughness. Or attacks. But if it was to attack, I could certainly kill it in one shot here. You could do it again, but you don't want to do that. Or, I mean, it would be worth it if you could somehow trade that way, but it's almost not worth it to keep that around, I guess. Let's just go with more flying stuff. Wait, why does this show abilities remove? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, see, even some of the, maybe I just don't have the best memory, but some of these cards you don't really see. So I love the variety that allows you to have between the 10k cards. But yeah, just imagine PvZ Heroes, a game that only has like 500 cards, which again, it's still fun. And it has one of the most dedicated player bases within that context I've ever seen. Better player base than fucking Elder Scrolls Legends somehow. But you know, and still better support to it over the years from development, right? At least better than giving up on it after like 1 or 2 years or something dumb like that they did. But the point is that don't untap. That's kind of a crazy card for only 4. What is that? When you cast this, creature enters the battlefield, tap with a stun counter on it. Okay, dude, this guy's using some crazy shit. Yeah, it would basically... Man, that's such a killer card. Like, what the fuck, dude? You sometimes see this effect on an individual thing, but that could just... That'd be good in, like, an aggro deck. Just, like, 2 turns, they can't do jack shit, so you just die. Yeah, PvZ Heroes only has, like, 500 cards, or I could be wrong, but, I mean... I just kind of wonder what people end up doing with it after a while. Like, whenever it deals combat ninja player, draw 7 cards, which could be really bad. Like, you almost don't even want that. I mean, here I could just wait. Everybody's losing flying anyway, so it doesn't really do anything for me. He's just going to tap them again. Just use the AoE tap. If I actually ever played as blue, I would totally do that, but have that in there. It should cost a little more. No, isn't that too good? It's an AoE, man. This would be both good in an aggro deck and against an aggro deck. Just to shut down their attack for 2. Is this like a new card or something? Like, why wouldn't I have seen this more often if... I forget how you can even tell, or this is just like to show it's a Magic exclusive card, I guess. This card always reminds me of like Rise from fucking League of Legends for some reason. It would always trigger me, I think, in the early stage of the game. Like, he was super tanky or something, in addition to being, you know, high damage. He had, like, a, you know, because you have some of these glass cannon type characters, like what Kale used to be. Don't remind me before they fucking completely did a 180 on that. But basically, they were at least squishy at times, or they had their limits a little bit. Not even to say, like, oh, I was so good with her, but... I just love the way she worked. I had like one pretty sick skin for her too, but I don't know if I still have that. I probably wouldn't have that account anymore. It was like one of those. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was like some sort of robotic, futuristic one. Let's see. Just block one period, and then we could maybe kill one of these off, which doesn't seem worth it, but there's nothing else going on, so just do it. I mean, I'm obviously going to lose, but he's dragging it out. So I guess we would have to do it again, because this game has gone on so long, I almost forgot. But this is still the first game I played as red, right? So I could give green another chance, because this didn't win. That's what always happens. Whatever decks I put up to the task of fighting each other, basically, for which one I'm going to play, they do really well then, but then they'll lose after that. They'll start to stink it up. So it's like, it just forces me to play as it, but then I regret it. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, that sleep card is just fucking nasty, though. Very versatile. Like, there's so many situations where it would be good. And I don't like to resign, but it almost seems like I should, because what the fuck can I do? This I'm still not technically dead, but he'll just tap everything or just return everything. Yeah. Hull Breaker Horror. Obviously, we've seen this guy a lot. Kraken Horror. Turn target non-land permanent to its hand. See, like, neither of these games I was really too pissed about. Like, the way they won was kind of respectable, I guess. Okay, can we just scratch off blue from there, though? Because I never play as blue. And even white I don't like too much, but... And it even gets the honor of being on top. Like, yeah, how do they determine that? Like, they're giving certain, almost like a priority or ranking to them. How do you even change that, like, just in and of itself? I guess here? Or just, like, see which ones I have? Actually, I forget. Oh, you probably have to go to profile. I do this so rarely because I don't have too many things to choose between. Like, I may as well just keep using that one because all the other ones are kind of old hat. It's the only one that we got. It might be the only one we ever got that was, like, some of these we might have bought, but, like, we earned it from the reward track. Oh, they all have that stupid border around them. I was gonna say. Card sleeves. Yeah, it has white at the top, then green, then blue, then red, then black. So mine would be like green at the top to show it's the best, and it's even the biggest too. Look at that bias. Right, it's bigger than any of the other ones, clearly. No, I guess not. No, it is. Like, if you go by size, white is the biggest, then red and black are the next biggest, then green and blue are the smallest. Right, regardless of the angle of it, there's no way that green could be as big as white or anything else. So if it was me, I would put green at the top, then I would put like black here, then I would put like red, then I would put like maybe white here, and then maybe blue here, just like left to right being better to worse. Or actually what I would do is just put green, 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 but put like different symbols for it at least. Put a fucking dinosaur or something. Okay, so we'll try the best of one thing again, just to see which one's gonna win out here. Even though I wasn't even planning on playing green at all, so I would have just kept playing as red, but this makes it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, that shows you how much I like the hexproof mechanic. It negates my hatred of blue, that I find a way to still use blue cards because so many of them are hexproof, and this one's actually really awesome. That's one of my favorite effects in the game because it's like it forces them to stop hiding and, you know, hiding behind the base mechanic of not being able to attack minions. Like, you can only block with them in this game, so therefore, obviously, a lot of effects and stuff are annoying because they'll kind of just keep cucking you by hiding it away. 8 mana 8/8. Actually, this could be better because if you get a couple things out there, it can really ramp you up. I hear you like ramp and good standard minions, so I play the Gigantosaurus so I can play Galta, so I can play another Galta for basically free. That's all you would have to do, right? Like, you play you play Gigantosaurus, then this automatically costs 2, and that's all you have to do. I just hate the outlines of some of these. They're so stupid. Let's look if they ever announce like some sort of Magic the Gathering MMO or something. Magic the Gathering MMO. Cancelled. Magic the Gathering MMO shuts down without leaving beta. But why? It could be so good, dude. Or this was the one they were maybe showing me. Magic Legends is gone, but it deserves a spiritual successor. Yeah, this series just deserves... You know, there's so much lore, whether a lot of it's borrowed or not. A lot of people are kind of trash-talking it, actually, when I was talking about that. Like, maybe that's why. They're saying, like, oh, they're borrowing from Lord of the Rings and all these other universes. Rather than just coming up with their own lore or using the own lore that they already have and expanding upon it and stuff like that. Some of it's obviously from Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, so green might get a freebie here. Magic Legends 0 out of 10 rating and stars. Magic the Gathering video game, besides like not a card game though. That's the problem. Classification AAA. Oh, what is the site even? How do they determine that? Evidently it must not have been very AAA. Oh, you mean the part of being AAA where it's all buggy and doesn't fucking work and shuts down before you even get a chance to play it. That part. Regions and planes. That's one of the worst things about this game is if you tab out, it stops playing the music for like a second. Genshin Impact. Let's see. Lair of the Hydra. I never like these lands that have like all this kind of power creep and shit in them though. It's like the energy in Pokemon. Land should just be land, base. It's not like, oh, it starts tapped, but it has this crazy effect, or it does all these kind of other things like a shrine and this and that. That's how you know a game's been out for so long. Like, energy in Pokemon was just like, oh, that's just, you put it on and you can just use abilities, cool. But now then it makes it like, oh, this energy also lets you attack an extra time or whatever, or it lets you get extra health, or it does, like, he's doing all these kind of crazy effects on top of that, just for, again, a base mechanic, like just it's supposed to be a base resource. Surely this is all part of their master plan. He's pulling a Bakura, like where he passes his turn for 3 turns in a row to summon Dark Necrofear or something. Everything is a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. There's so many iconic moments that sort of, you know, fit almost every scenario. A lot of which aren't even possible within the game itself because a lot of the cards are made up or bullshit. You know, Deus Ex Machina. You had one job to follow a card game properly, you know. Like, you're gonna make a show about a card game, but you can't even make the show right, like follow the rules of it. Like, I make a show about chess, but I don't even follow how chess actually works. The one thing I haven't been doing on my Tuesday format, now that I'm sort of free to do whatever I want with it, within still playing chess somehow, is I haven't done too many variants. I'll have to make a point of that, but tomorrow we have at least an exciting day for it because we're trying that very cool chess game that I've always wanted. Basically, one in which it just came out today, I think. Basically, just chess exclamation mark, but it allows you to play against people on the chess within the 3D game. Why that was so hard for them to do, like for anybody to make a game like that, is beyond me. But whenever it or another creature enters, you gain 1 life. I mean, they've been very slow to do this, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna win. But this is me playing ramp and fast paced and this and that, but it's still not really too threatening. Maybe I'm just easily amused by something, like easily entertained. The fact that I can play the same fucking thing pretty much the whole... I've been using this pretty much since I first started playing the game. I've been using this for a long time. I guess Hexproof I haven't been using for that long, but you know... I played the game for over a year now, but I played it kind of so rarely that... Or, I mean, I play it regularly, but, like, it's always short. Like, is 2 hours a week for a year really that much? That's where I was kind of deceptive, speaking of chess, too. Like, people would talk about, you know, oh, well, you play chess every day, so you should be better, which is absolutely true. Or I should have been better innately without even needing to do that, but use that as a crutch. But... if you're only playing like an average of an hour, 2 hours a day, is that really that much? Anybody who's serious about the game would clearly do that, and they would study too, and they would do all these kind of other things too. So I don't think the raw amount of time was really that big of a deal. That's the normal amount that you have to do. So for the most part, I'll just try to do it off stream from now on. That would be kind of better. Okay, I mean, you're gonna have to do more than that, dude, and you do have a lot of land to be able to do it. Fucking, some of these pictures are hilarious. It's an island. Every well is an island in a metaphorical sense, of course. Every continent is technically an island. Or one of my favorite little short story quotes I ever had was, it's kind of hard to explain the subject matter, but it was like, no, I should post something like some of these to my YouTube so nobody can steal them later. Like I fucking have it on video that is my line. It was like, I don't know how to explain the background of it, but basically just imagine that the stars are the cells of like a celestial being. Like every star, like the same way that, you know, the human body has like all these millions of cells and this and that, so it's so infinitesimal. That's how it makes you feel like on a bigger scale. Like what if every star is just a insignificant little cell in some big grand celestial entity, basically. Not even saying it's like God, it's just like that's the next level. And then, you know, whatever the space is for them, that could be their own. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, but I don't think I've done like a single either debate stream or writing stream since no, I guess I did a couple writing streams because I did like the recreation thing where like I went through and rehashed some of my old terms and stuff. I kind of did that with the intention of starting the debate format after that, but I guess, you know, I didn't really have the will to actually do it. Got to be in a certain mood, I guess, like, but with the fact that I do some, you know, I would do it as a secondary thing if I did like really long streams. Like I'd be willing to do that now. Like if I stream 6 hours a day, I would do my normal category for 4 hours, and then I would do that at the end, right, to wind down. That's like the same reason why I would play card games and chess and all that kind of stuff. But now these have become my only thing I do in a day because of how short they are. If I only have 2 hours, how could I, you know, fit other stuff in then? That was sort of a funny contrast. Yeah, some PvZ Heroes players were trying Magic, maybe because of me, because I kept talking about it even. What little community I have for that. But like, then they try and it's like, oh, this game has too many cards, like over 10,000. Compared to PvZ Heroes, which you could complain, a Magic player plays and says this game has too few cards, only has like 500. So, you know, which is it? Which are you going to decide on? I was almost looking forward to that Disney Lorcana thing, but I guess it's not in a digital space, or there's like some way to emulate it, like some third-party program. But I heard an announcement for it, and it was like, I thought it was going to be a digital. They were going to make a digital one of it. But yeah, in a way, I hate to admit it, but this is almost like a throwaway series for me. Like, there's no real format, there's no end point, start point. I do like these mini formats within it, but it's kind of just like, we're just playing the game, and it's usually a short episode too. Or just because Monday tends to be a day like that for me, or at least but when I had more time on other days. Now it just seems like the same every day, but what ends up happening is basically it's sort of like a throwaway thing in the sense that I'm just going to do it no matter what, right? It's not a series with a clear goal or anything. You're just playing just to play, just build your collection, try to collect every card in the game, every green card in the game, whatever you want to say, which is really fucking hard to do unless they just stop making more new cards. But it's almost like Hearthstone is like that too. I'll play Hearthstone pretty much till it goes offline. There's no, you know, other condition to it. It's just a game I like so much, so it'll always be at least a little format of mine. And so it's the same thing here. I might play this till it goes offline too, because I don't really know how to structure it otherwise. Whereas like with every series I do, there's some sort of permanent condition or this or that. Like even with PvZ Heroes, there's another card game that's still a little bit different because, like even with chess, right? Because we failed that chess challenge, now I'm no longer playing on chess.com. Now I'm doing something totally different, which is still chess, by the way, but you know what I mean. Like it at least takes on a different form in a different phase, which I guess I've done with this too, but it's just not exactly the same. Or I should have just done the troll, but I guess I want more mana. Like if I can't win X number of games in the draft, I have to stop playing as green for a while, or I have to, you know, I keep pitting these things against each other in an episodic sense, but that doesn't really have any long-term ramifications or whatever. So basically, yeah, even the fucking green drakes are better value than the goddamn red ones. How shameful is that? 3 mana 3/3, 3 mana 5 mana 3. Well, I guess that's pretty bad actually. By which I mean pretty much equal to red in that sense. Search your library for a snow card, a legendary card, or a saga card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, you gain 1 life for each. That's like how you would read Yu-Gi-Oh card text, because it would go on for so fucking long. So that would be a devil's advocate way to like explain each card game. Like TVZ Heroes doesn't have enough cards. Magic has too many cards. Yu-Gi-Oh has too long card text. Too TLDR. Yu-Gi-Oh summed up. You can attack with both of those. You could do this. I love the Invisible Stalker for all its like buff potential, right? Because if they just can't do anything about it, then that basically means that you could just buff it a whole bunch and do a OTK, or at least make it very annoying. Have like 4 of these in there and keep buffing them throughout the game, and you're gonna get the damage through no matter what. The fact that it's hexproof on top of that is such a cool thing. You can kill it with an AoE, but even that would become difficult if you keep buffing its health and stuff. This one's pretty cool, actually. Makes you want to play a dungeon crawler type of game, which is not this, unless you play a dungeon actually on the field, which obviously is a mechanic. So do we actually beat this guy in a super non-competitive game? This is like a streak of 2 games, I guess. Almost as good as, or probably better than most of my Paladin's characters. And I'm kind of stunned by how bad both of those runs have gone. I guess with Smite, I'll actually have to try to metagame it or something, but what that format is basically like, it's like an arcade game, right? You just go in, you play, and then let your play speak for itself. You don't look anything up, you don't watch anything, you don't do any research, you don't study, you don't know how the character works. You just go in and just make the best of it, right? And so it's to emphasize gameplay. I don't care about the items, I don't care about the shop, I don't care about the specs, the builds, anything. Just, you know what I mean? Just play the game. And those games are very good for it. In fact, Overwatch is much better for it, because there is no shop, but I didn't know actually in playing Paladins that there was going to be one. I never enjoy that in these games because, I mean, in that genre of games, because it feels kind of contrived, right? Everybody just ends up using the same exact thing, and so it's not really that fun to do, to experiment with. You're just going to get destroyed if you try to do that. I mean, he's not dead yet, but the number of like crazy comebacks where it seems like somebody's about to lose and then it just completely flips is very telling with me, or very common with this game. Actually, I don't know if that was the same game though. The MMO that was canceled for it was also like an action, like a Diablo style game, because that's the one that like Davey was showing me a while back. But whatever. The point is, you'll never get a proper. If you ask enough times, like that chess game, I was always asking for something like that, and I didn't know anything about that one. Why can't you find a 3D game that actually has a good player base? And the answer is you never can, but you can kind of cheat that by having it, you know, integrate with another website that actually does have a player base. You need one now for chess.com. But if you complain enough, you'll eventually get it. So I wish Magic had a dedicated single-player open-world story game or something, or a MMO or something, just anything that lets you kind of experience and flesh out the lore and things like that. This one's about to be on a 3-game win streak, so Red's going to have to live up to that, because I am going to still put it to the test. This is like a, you know, very harsh, tough love moment. Even though it already won the matchup last time or the time before, we're still putting it to the test. Like, if you're so good to be able to beat the other red deck, then why can't you beat green too? It's like punishing somebody for the absolutist tendency, right? The absolutist reward for success is an even greater challenge to overcome next. I'm not the founder of absolutist theory or philosophy, but I am a primary prognosticator of it back from that epic, some of those epic discussions about it. And it's the sort of thing that could rub people the wrong way, you know, in this very sensitive day and age, but it's very think of it basically like it's a philosophy that emphasizes human will and human like capability. If you think of people as very capable, then you reject excuses like, oh, something bad happened, but it's your fault because you're too stupid to, you know, it might sound harsh, but like, you don't make excuses. You emphasize, maximize human potential as much as, you know, certain societal structures and contrivances try to hinder that. The whole point is you're just bypassing everything and just trying to +1/+1 for each creature that enters under your control this turn. You're trying to emphasize human capability in such a way that you're basically able to or maybe that wasn't the best one to do it to. You're minimizing excuses, you're emphasizing potential, you're kind of putting it, keeping people honest in a way. So it's very harsh is the point. It wouldn't, yeah, like the overpopulation argument is a good one for that. Like, the absolutist society would not have 8 billion people or a planet, not because they would do anything extreme or whatever depopulate. They just never would have done that in the first place because they would have more control over the stimuli acme, which is referring to sexual basically stuff. So basically they would control that in such a way that they would know, right? They would know the simple principle is that, I go into these tangents a lot playing Magic specifically for some reason, but any card game or something is good for this. I don't do my debate format anymore, but I find a way to fit stuff like this in. The point is that you would never see in that hypothetical 8 billion people or like a ridiculous population, because people would sort of self-regulate and say, we don't need a law to do it. We don't need anything else. It would be self-governance. Like, we're going to choose not to have too many kids because we know that as a basic societal standard that, for example, like anything that's mass produced suffers in quality for it. So you can look at that as fast food. You can look at that as stuff that you find at the grocery store. You can look at that as education. Whenever it's mass produced for millions of people, like, quality is not the priority, right? So that applies to life itself. When you have so many people, you're not doing that because you value them or you think highly of them in a metaphorical, theoretical, philosophical sense. I'm not saying it literally, but hypothetically, like, you're not doing that because you value people. You're doing that in a way that actually undermines people, because what you're doing is you're basically saying that, you know, you're mass producing people. And so there's no sense of, you know, you're not treating that with the severity that it would supposedly deserve. So yeah, anything that's in lower quantity can be appreciated and valued more, right? Or at least that can be the focus. But when you have too much of something, or when it's spread thin like that, that's exactly what happens. Like a private school or something like it's very hands-on is one thing, but on the flip side, you have all public schools and mass-produced this and whatever, mass-produced food and this and that. That's never going to be the highest quality thing. The highest quality thing is going to be specialty made, hands-on, one-on-one, specific, whatever you want to call it. That would be the way to extrapolate on that. More exciting than the gameplay. Anyway, we're going to win this one no matter what. I love the way I played this specifically because this seems like one of those games that people are very... And that's sometimes a validation of the complexity of a game. Like, the reason why... I wish you could do it to itself. I almost thought you could. But let's not attack with that one, though, because they'll just die. Or maybe I should, because then if it wanted to block it, he would still die. He doesn't even try to do anything, but immunity from black or whatever is pretty good. Right, it'll sometimes come up. That's not why he's in there, obviously. It's just incidental. What are we even on? That's like a 3-game win streak. But no, this seems like a game that people metagame really hard, and that always happens with games that are super complex, like MMOs or something. So it's like the opposite interpretation thing I said with chess, right? Like, how did I describe it? The reason why chess chess has a finite number of moves, like, oh, it has X number of positions. It isn't because it's complicated, although it obviously is. It's because it's not as complicated as other games that have an infinite number of, you could never measure how many possible movements and positions and sequences of stuff, of actions are there in Valorant or League of Legends or Rocket League or something. Or even in a sport like basketball. You could never measure it because it's in real time, right? So that inherently is far more complex than a turn-based game could ever be, card game, chess, otherwise. But then they hide behind the fact that, oh, it has X number of positions. But the fact that you can measure them is not a sign of complexity. It's actually a sign of simplicity compared to that real-time standard that I just posed. But the second part is the idea that of metagaming, right? Like, oh, everybody thinks they know everything about an MMO, like WoW Classic or something, and they're try-harding and they break everything down to such a fine detail. But the reason that they do that isn't because, oh, the game is so easy and it's solved and it's old news. It's actually the opposite. Is that the game is so overwhelming and time-consuming, and it would be impossible to figure that stuff out on your own, or it would take a lifetime to do it and beyond, that you have to do that, or you would have to accept the fact that there's a lot of things you're not going to know and you're going to get stuck on and stuff like that. So people sort of get overwhelmed, and then it turns into like a borrowed knowledge clown fiesta. Like, they mistake borrowed knowledge as their own, but the only reason why they're looking it up, or why they have that and feel the need to do that is because the game is so overwhelming that they could never come up with it on their own, right? Because you wouldn't do that for a single player game, although in this modern era you might, because open world games and stuff have become so complex. But like historically, like with Ocarina of Time, sure, it's a time-consuming game. It's still pretty complicated, but you wouldn't really feel the need, or there was like some sort of stigma to it, like, oh, don't look stuff up because it feels kind of shameful, and you should try to figure it out for yourself. But you wouldn't feel the need as much because you could spend enough time and figure it out because it has its limits, right? You can beat the game in 20, 30 hours. You can 100% it in like 50 hours or more, but it wasn't so overwhelming, so people didn't feel the need to look it up. So that's almost the implication, like, oh, everybody knows everything about such and such online game, so that means they're less complicated than old school single player games like that. But that's not what it is at all, right? They're conceding psychologically to whether they realize it or not, to the fact that it's so complicated that they have no choice but to do that. Whereas with other ones, they take it as an honorable sense. Like, oh no, I'll try to figure it out myself. I'll try to beat this game blind first playthrough, right? That's the whole point. But, imagine doing that with an MMO or something like that, where you have to figure everything out and play it blind. And I'm not even saying that people should do that for the sake of time, but I don't like the sort of fragile egos of people when it comes to that, because it's like, you're not really proving anything. Like, somebody else came up with it. People already know what you're doing, so I'm not saying don't do it, but it's not, I don't know, it's not the end-all be-all that, like, you're doing, if you were the one who came up with it in the first place, like Drums of War Muru or something like that, then I could understand, but you're not, like, doing it on the cutting edge, if you want to call it that. Right, it's like, oh yeah, I could make a Model T Ford in my garage, so I'm smarter than everybody back then 100 years ago plus. But you know what I mean? Like, I have access to so much information, and not that I could, because I'm not good at stuff like that anyway, but I'm saying hypothetically, a hypothetical modern person, like, oh, that's so easy to do. How could they have not figured it out? But you're saying that from a position where you have the information of them figuring it out, so. This one's actually doing better than I would have expected, so red is going to actually lose out. So I guess Sarkhan couldn't drag on for too long, or maybe I will get a... let's actually not even worry about it yet. Like, so we're not even going to be able to use Sarkhan at all. Why is this even here? Or, you know what, this is funny, actually. Because the reason why I have this is because I'm all anti-spell. We keep filling in these random things. We have a couple blue cards, we have a couple black cards, and we do have enough because obviously mana of any color comes into play, so I actually like that. So it'll punish you for using those nasty spells, which could actually be very fruitful. I forgot that I even put that in there. It was a very recent development. Oh, that even... Wait. What? That even applies to creature spells? What kind of fucking bullshit is that? Even I don't stand for that. I want you to play stuff on the board. Oh, that is such an awesome card, man. It's not even mythic. And it's even better than I thought it was. anti-spell, it's also anti-creature. Of course, people would have no trouble destroying it because I don't have any other ones, so it's like, you know, it makes it an easy target for any sort of removal there, but unless he goes for the kill right now, which he might actually have. I can still block it. Yeah, that'll decimate your hand. Man, I love this, actually. Fuck. The black-green ultimate hybrid. I think I'm still dead, though. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? How did you manage to have such incredible value in cycling that you decide to fucking do that? Like, why couldn't you have done that before then? Like, he's just pissed that I played that card, so now he's bringing out the big guns. Yeah, keep playing stuff until you have 0 cards, and then you'll die. How about that? Play another one, and then you have no choice but to do it because you can't discard a card. What kind of bullshit is that? Why is it always on the last turn that, like, that happens? Maybe my first time ever playing that, too. So we won, like, 3 in a row, I guess. Let's see if the red one does better. Yeah, now I actually kind of want to see that card in action a bit more. I'll make another one. Unironically, I don't care. We have 2 rare cards. Maybe not yet, but I was holding on to that mythic one for a while. Yes, and then I made some stupid one for this that I probably shouldn't have made. I just make stuff on a whim, and I keep slowly iterating to these decks. So as much as you might complain, oh, you keep playing the same decks over and over, you know, I am adding to them as much as I can. It's just, well, within a very limited sort of criteria. Beginning of your upkeep, if you have, I mean, they'll just kill this thing, but obviously, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5. And the problem with that is you don't really have all that much land in the deck, so it was a bit misguided. I think I maybe misunderstood what it was. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh, it's like an enchantment or whatever that you put on the field, but then it's obviously just a 1/1 minion, because it's going to just make it way too easy to get rid of here. What the fuck, death? Sounds like my chat on one of my permanent playthroughs. Yeah, we'll see if this gets value. We do have a couple exciting things that we just added in then, I guess. The one we just saw that was like, oh, fucking stupid, man. Speaking of seeing the same thing too much over and over. So we'd have to get like 6 lands, which we almost never do with this deck. Yeah, we're also sort of rewarding Sarkhan for that victory. In terms of, or I guess I'm just confident that we'll win at least 3 games. But no, I actually do a best. Well, we'll see what happens. But Dragon Spells cost 1 less to cast, and then we have the other Whelp thing that's kind of like, it's able to basically reduce the cost of everything in your hand by 1 every turn, every dragon in your hand. Of course, the one dragon, the one card that, you know, we put in there is not even a dragon. I almost shouldn't be allowed to use it, but you have 3 mana. I just want to get a bunch of flying stuff and sort of punish him here, but it's pretty tough to do that. Can't really worry about the healing. That's always one of my weaknesses. Where I even have that stupid one that's like a 4/3 or something that says neither players can heal or something like that. All I would need is like 1 shitty removal card for this. I would even do this. Just deal 3 damage to a creature, conjure a bunch of Shivan dragons. Whose enchantment you have that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control, create a copy, token, blah, blah, blah. I'll even just do that. I'll fucking do the 3 damage from there. Of how stupid this kind of is. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all walls whenever it attacks. Okay, I can't do it yet. I'll just do this.
Those who call me savage.
It's just having way too much impact on the game. Deals 1 damage to any target. Oh, you know what I could have done? Fuck, I fucked up. I could have hit that and killed that. Well, but I guess I didn't really want to do that, but you know, you could have actually just killed it with the benefit of that. I forgot about that synergy. Not that it's really very worth it when it's a fucking 3 mana 2/2, but we do have all 4 Sarkhans, but we only have 1 of each. I'll often craft stuff in that way. I won't craft for what's optimal, but I won't even craft the best of whatever gimmicky thing I'm trying to do. Like I'll commit to one mechanic or one thing and I'll keep doing it. Like, oh, I'll craft every hexproof card. But not only will I do that, but I won't make 2 of the same one because I think it's better. I'll make like that shitty homunculus 2/5 just because I want more variety of them, basically. We could do that, and then we make a Shivon dragon. Or, no, we can do what we just... Well, I hate to do it to you, but it's worth it because I can just kill it. Or no, I should have...
This is a tragedy for all.
I maybe should have done it to the other one.
Let's see if you're fireproof.
Why is he saying that then? Let's see if you're fireproof. Like what, I can't control the dragons without you, maybe is what he's implying? Royal walls doesn't really matter. Not really the greatest decision there, but I was just so excited to do that little combo with this fucking 1 dinky damage. Like, is this card good in any way that anybody would be using it in a good deck? And probably not even at the time when it was current, but let alone now. So you got the little clown thing card back. How many different Halloween stuff could they come up with over time, or for like every holiday every year? Keep coming up with different things for the same shit. In before one-shot combo incoming here. You control at least 6 or more. And the cool thing about that is you don't even have to tap him. Not that he's really that strong, but it's not like... Oh, that was kind of a... Wait. That many creatures get double strike. Okay, almost just one there, but now how much you want to bet he's going to clown me in the next little going here? Like, I'm going to lose this game. My board is good. My health is good. They're low. They're going to win because they'll do some crazy shit. They'll full heal. They'll do a million things. Give me like 1 more land so I can flex that. Get to see both of my... Wait, this is Galta. Doesn't look like any Galta I know. 7, 8. All you'd have to do is get 1 damage through. And the fact of the matter is, you should win because... You know what I mean? Like... You'll get through 8 damage. And so all you have to do is get through 1 more. Unless he has some other crazy effect or heal that's going to happen. We didn't actually get to see that guy's ability, but I should win at least. Very exact lethal there. My lethals always come from the board, you see, because I never have any damage out of my hand or from anywhere else. The most damage or removal I did there was from Sarkhan's stupid effect on the Planeswalker. I just killed him for that alone. What we're going to be able to do here is that's 1 win compared to like the 3 wins for green. So we'll have to figure out, obviously, whether we can catch up or not to that. And I'm trying to obviously save up for 10k draft, which should be coming up pretty soon, right? Like maybe next time. If I just do the daily quest this time and next time, I should be able to do it. Yeah, this will be already 8,000, so... Finally, we can do one. I'll do one before, obviously, Wilds of Eldraine is over. You should really do them at the beginning, though. Maybe I won't do it, and then I'll save it for the beginning of next expansion, which is obviously in like 20-some-odd days. And so, well, I'll think about it, but basically... Yeah, I shouldn't have even done that, but I have a decent amount of land, so I feel compelled to do it. Oh, is he going to be like the same person somehow? That rarely happens in a game like this. I didn't even see their name, but it somehow seems like the same person. This is okay. I mean, all the dragons are just so goddamn expensive. Or even if they're not, again, their value is very stunted. It doesn't match with their taste. Why do I even have this guy in there? When it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can reveal a dragon card, put it in your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library. Okay, this might have been the mythic one I made, but it's not even mythic. It's a 4 mana, the 3 mana 4/4. So like, wow, that's the best value dragon you're ever going to see. Flying trample whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. Like, it's a good card, but it's like, this shouldn't be the exception. This should be the norm. Like, with green, you don't have to go out of your way to celebrate a good value proposition. Let's go ahead and do this one, and then you can obviously just do that as well. So we're actually, this guy's actually pretty good. It's like my first time seeing him. So I did add a lot of things to this that I kind of forgot about, but maybe we'll do that just for some extra mana here. We should probably win this, but it's maybe too early to say that. I always say that, and then they don't mind just face tanking for 5 turns. So fucking stupid, man. 3 mana, destroy all creatures. You're so fucking annoying. Can I do the thing that's gonna give me haste too? Creatures you control gain haste. You got to take advantage of the fact that they can't do anything. Yeah, do I get a card that does that? Like, they don't tap till the end of, like, tap your opponent's lands and they don't untap during the next phase. The way that stupid card was, like, where it tapped all my creatures for like 2 turns. I don't think I've seen exactly that one. This isn't too bad because 1 less to cast for each card in your graveyard. When it enters, deal 4 damage to each opponent. Wouldn't I almost win there, especially if I give it rush, right? You just win. Because even if you have to give that up, who gives a shit? You'll do wait. Oh, don't tell me, dude. Don't tell me. If I lose now, dude. Are you fucking... Wait, but you're doing the same shit. So, I mean, you can do that as many times as you want, but don't heal. Now, you'll be completely helpless because next turn you won't be able to do anything either. I don't think there's anything that would specifically say, like, untap your land. So, what are you going to do? Hurry up, dude. Oh, wait, what the fuck? I guess it might still not matter. That's not even a BM play, but I guess I didn't have as much mana as I thought just because that one guy sort of deceives me, right? Like where he's giving you the 2 mana to sack him, but you're not actually doing it, so it makes you think you have more than what you actually do. I mean, next turn I could play this, but I should just win. Like, imagine losing to this fucking guy, dude. He's gonna throw his little plate of food at you instead of feeding it to the... He's gonna win like this. He's gonna win like this because he got the 1 HP, dude. Look at him go, dude. So fucking idiotic. 1 less to cast, flying haste. That should do it, but I don't know, man. They only have 2 lands to even dick around with, so what could they possibly do? They have certainly a good amount of removal. I'm not sure this is even that good of a card, though, because there's other ones that do the same thing that's, like, maybe not as costly. We do have quite a few haste ones in here, so... He almost just got saved, though, because of the stupid Dragon Lord Servant being the only thing I could play there. That wasn't too bad of a showing. So that's the second game, so you have to do 1 more win. And then if it wins the 4th one, then I'll do... Well, if it wins the 3rd one and then loses, we can do another matchup to see. But if we basically win 4, then we can do the best of 3 on this just directly. Okay, so let's see. This is the moment of truth. Either if it loses, then I'll do the green one. If we win, then we're tied, so we're at least guaranteed another, like another tie break, or at least maybe something of a win. What was showing up? Oh, never mind. Ariette was gifted an apple that caused anybody who tasted it to fall in love with her, but she always dreamed a bit bigger. Now sleepwalkers and dreamers do her bidding. Oh, wow, something. But yeah, that's an interesting topic of conversation. Which card games are on console? Card games on console. Because it's such a nice thing, you know, like, it doesn't matter what you play it on, right? So it almost should be. It's on your fucking phone, but like, I always wanted that for some reason. Not that I would ever really play it on there, but like, why wasn't Hearthstone on the PS4 or whatever? Like, it should just be on everything because it's so easy to do. That's the whole reason why these things are such a big deal, because I almost should try that one time. I don't know, I'm almost liking consoles for some weird reason. Like, I like the feel of the controller because I do it so little. It's like a novelty. I'm playing Ark on there. I'm playing Destiny on there. At least Destiny feels justified because it's like, you know, it's the only way to play it. Destiny 1 at least. Destiny 2 I could obviously do on PC, but... So that almost forces you to do it. And that's not the part I mind. The part I mind is where it just doesn't fucking work. Like, shouldn't this cost 0 then? Like, it doesn't say cost 1 less to cast, but limited it, you know, not making it free. It doesn't say that anywhere. This is like a very bad value card too, because again, everything's just concerned with getting them to cost less, which seems like a dumb thing. Why don't I just play green instead, where they automatically cost less? Like, what the fuck? Or like giving you treasure tokens, giving you more mana and stuff. I mean, it seems almost dumb not to do that, which makes you question why I even played that in the first place. Like, or wait. Oh, no, I would have had to do it that way because you needed the reductive cost from that too. So I guess it is worth it. Flying, trample. This is actually coming together a little bit though. Like, it's still a bad deck, but it's not as horrendously bad as before. And arguably, deck quality isn't even always my highest priority, but it's obviously a factor just in whatever. Like, you are still building it, but I always build things in like a very weird way. That's almost hard to explain. I could use this on there, but I don't know. I mean, I won't be able to, obviously, but whenever it mutates, search your library basic land card, put it on the battlefield tab and shuffle. 5/6, huh? Doesn't really bother me too much now, but it's gonna get out of hand, obviously. Wait, why doesn't it get the double team? Oh, when it attacks, right? I mean, you're almost just dead right there, so you better hope your stupid little mutation thing saves you. Okay, that's good. We could block it if we have to, finish him off. We get another one too. I like all these dragons that don't actually have wings, because then, oh, they should be better statted, but if, oh, is he gonna do the world tree shit on me? We haven't really seen that happen. We had that epic moment where it did happen at the beginning, like, you should just win no matter what, right? Like, you block a 4, there's no way you can survive this. You block double 4s, you still get hit for 8, so unless you have something else you can play. We saw it, like, in one of my first episodes, like my 3rd episode ever of playing Magic, and let me react to my own video of that after this. Just mitigate the damage, although I don't think I actually said that, but I, you know, I coined the phrase. It was always in like some sort of turn-based game I would say it, like, oh yeah, it was my fault for missing the action command in Paper Mario, that's why I died. Meanwhile, the enemy did like 2 times my max health, so even if I did hit it, right, I would have still gotten wrecked, but it doesn't matter because now you got a little extra health out of this, but you're still very close to dying, and obviously I didn't lose much because, you know, it's a case where, I mean, I could just finish him with that, even though I'm talking trash about it, but none of these cards are going to be good value. I feel like I haven't used that in a while, even though I think I still have it in my deck. You shouldn't really be able to survive this. I don't see how. Wait, so this one ties the green one, so both of these decks are actually doing pretty good, all things considered. I love the daily quest that's like to do with destroy your opponent's minions too, because it's not even fucking up to me half the time. You know, it's whether they choose to block or not or whatever. It's not even going to be, or like if they sacrifice one of their creatures in the course of a game that I happen to be playing, does that mean I still get one? Get credit for that or what? Because I am not the type to use removal, but even if I am, it would rely on that 100%. Okay, this will be the epic one. Yeah, let me actually show that 1 second. I don't know why. Hard games on console and also maybe that clip. Let's see. I guess doing like the Gary's mod session and stuff maybe put me more in the mood to do this sort of thing a little bit. React content, but at least mostly either reacting to my own stuff or going like on tangents about it that don't really, you know, rely on it too much. Let's react to scary videos on YouTube for Halloween. Like, this is the kind of dumb shit people do. Best card games for Xbox One. And you would assume they, okay, Slay the Spire. Okay, but that's more like a single player game. I don't know which of these are actually multiplayer. It just seems weird that they wouldn't be like, yeah, so you can play Master Duel on console. Player friendly ecosystem. Is it really, dude? It's fucking dog shit. You got to use Synchro on every card attainable through craft system. Impressed with visual sound effects, fun solo mode. Iris Outlaws. I don't even know what that is. Like what is magic on though? I don't get it. Where does it say Magic Arena? I think it might be, but no, it's not. Why is it fucking lying to me? Or that's some other version of it, but 6 out of 10. Oh yeah, this is what I was looking at, that I was even saying like why, like why is it so hated that way? Like it's a really good game. Like, what were their complaints and stuff? I'll actually read. My gambling addiction friend said if I post, okay, let's look at some negative ones. Summary, most helpful. Negative. Okay, here, October 11th, but he hasn't played much. Shadow that bred them can only mock, he cannot make, he cannot make real things of its own. Is that because they're ripping off other fucking universes? Been discovered that are more likely to flood or mana screw, higher rank with 300%. Look up Reddit post. Study was done over 10,000 draft games. I can no longer support this garbage ass company with their rigged ass cash grab games. You are more likely to flood or mana screw the higher rank you are by 300%. What does that mean? Flood or mana screw? The greediest product they've ever imagined. Most predatory. It doesn't feel that predatory. I'll even say that. I'll defend it. Right? Even as a Hearthstone fan, they could easily take the piss and say, oh no, Hearthstone is better, but it's not. Like, at least the inherent game itself. But alchemy cards are literally fan fiction designed by 12-year-olds for the express purpose of making Wally the Whale. No, I feel like the reason why that's actually done, I'm sure this is a part of it, but the reason why alchemy is there is like this bullshit sense of balance. Like, oh, haha, everybody's complaining about this card, so we'll keep it in standard, but we'll also change it in alchemy so you can say like, oh, you can't complain about that busted card, like whatever, Patches or something in Hearthstone for a while there, or something, Renethal. Just play Historic and who cares? Irredeemable for any real world value, but that's how all these games work. I can't overstate enough how little any human being should ever use this piece of software. I don't know. I'm kind of stunned by that though. Maybe the currently Shuffler is still rigged. Proving this. Wizards does nothing about it. What do you mean? Like when it auto shuffles your deck? What is this about? You got a conspiracy theory. Shuffler rigged magic. How is that? A million game studies says Shuffler is rigged. How do you mean that? Haven't read it yet. Looks very in-depth. I guess that means it must be right if it's online and if it's in-depth. What does it even mean though? Just explain. Data gathered shows the change abrupt. Data gathered shows an abrupt change in distribution. Precisely the War of the Spark released on correct shuffle. Okay, I mean, I'll take your word for it. That's at least legitimate criticism. Don't download. They make it worse every year. Go download. Oh, they're going to tell you, like, play Magic, but just in a different capacity. That I can understand. Right? Or what is it? Magic, another game engine. Play the game for about 15 hours. Lost most of the matches. Like the whole pay to win, free to play element, I'm not even going to complain about because look, I played the game for over a year and I'm still, maybe my collection is good enough to make better decks and I could have built it better, but I don't even complain about that because it's like that's how every card game is, right? And so I enjoy the journey, not just the destination. I don't care if I'm getting my ass beat because I have the means argument in my back pocket to tell you that they're using better decks than me, so I don't care. It's not because I'm bad or something. What did I want to see though? Oh yeah, I wanted to see one thing on my YouTube. Like, one quiet gamer just mitigate the damage for Magic. Right, we had the original, which you'll probably barely be able to hear, but
for the kill. I think they have way too much HP actually. 5, 6.
So what's important to notice here is I miss.
Even if oh shit, that wasn't my best shot. Wait,
I missed the action command.
Is he gonna one-shot me? I thought he was gonna run away.
I didn't mitigate, but he hits fucking 40. I think I do actually say it here. Say the line. Say the line.
Okay, dude. Just mitigate the damage. Just mitigate 40.
But see, that's when my quiet nature was there, and it's even quieter because my stream is obviously like whatever. I lowered on there, but even beyond that, it was just like that was more my whispery style. Or yeah, if you just look up that, will it show my thing? Because that is like my 100% my catchphrase. Nobody else. Yeah, yeah. Even this one. Look at all these. Just mitigate the damage compilation here. Just that exact phrasing of it.
Destroy something every turn and just endlessly. The world tree. We're getting the fucking source of all life on Azeroth here. What is this, dude? Sacrifice the world tree. Search your library for any number of god cards. Put them onto the battlefield and show 'em. We're getting god cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're getting the world tree from Hearts from World of Warcraft all in one. Like, what the fuck is this, dude?
This is my first time ever
What
seeing
is
it
this?
too. And like I just started playing the game, so in a way I kind of like it
What
too. It's so nuts and out there that you don't even know what to make of
am I
it.
looking at? Like, what kind of busted ass bullshit is this? Looks like a win condition to me.
Yeah,
Like,
I use that as like a thumbnail of me like highlighting that to show how many things are attacking me. You know what I also discovered in this moment? I discovered that you could have more than like X number of minions on the board. I hadn't seen up to this point anybody have like more than 5 or 6 at once. So I'm like, how can you even have 2 rows? Is that tied to the effect of the world tree or something? But no, it's like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah,
You can just do whatever you want.
Am I missing something? Like, what just happened?
The point is, it's not
Maybe
an
that's just
auto
a
win condition.
You win no matter what. It may as well just say that. Yeah, speaking of getting somebody to -30, there you go. Fair and balanced. Now,
-40.
maybe it's hard to get to that point, sure. Sure. But, come on.
Yeah, that one was good. And then this was okay. Last one.
This
Last
should be
one.
the hard mode that I'm seeking. I kind of want to see what it's like. Why would they give you this so early on? Deadly +6.
There can't be a rule against reacting to your own shit. Maybe that's all I'll ever do. Not that I even really ever do it. I always make fun of React content and stuff too, but you just fight like a random bear. But because I sealed my fate by choosing the higher difficulty, you might think, oh, backpedaling and just run out of aggro range. But you can in some of these games, right? Like EverQuest, you have to like zone out. I don't think you can run out of this range at all.
Let's test the aggro range.
There is, yeah, there is no fucking aggro range, dumbass.
Super tight. A bear with a mana bar. How about? Are you kidding me, dude?
And I basically resigned myself to that fate anyway, because
does that mean that's the only?
like the point is that, what do you call it? Like, because I basically resigned myself to that because I didn't think it mattered. Wait, I didn't turn off game capture. Why is it not there? Maybe I did. What is this? A fucking Scarface inspired? What are some of these things, dude? Or yeah, it's obviously something to do with a horror movie, but I'm talking about Scarface just because of the iconic chainsaw scene. It almost looks like him more a little bit, doesn't it? Oh, the evil. Yeah, maybe this is what people are criticizing, of course, with all the reviews and stuff. Like, why? I like the audio that comes with it. You know, like, oh, they're doing all these crossovers and shit. They did Transformers, they did Post Malone, now they're doing Evil Dead, now they're doing fucking The Princess Bride. Like, what the fuck are some of these, dude? Let's do an expansion about it too. Okay, let's see whether Red is going to make the journey here or not. Holding shift, pressing enter allows you to pass priority. Okay, there are some pretty cool mechanics like that, or how you can like bluff it. You hold down like control or alt or something, and it makes it seem like you have an interaction even if you don't. That was always a problem in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it would auto do it, but you would know that your opponent didn't have a trap to trigger. Even if they have a face down card that you might think is a trap, they can't bluff it because it'll just auto end your turn or something. Or it won't keep stopping every interaction to prompt them. Like, do you want to trigger a card? Yes or no? So go ahead, do this for now. There's no point even playing that. It's not it's a mythic card too. So like, it would be good if it had hexproof, or if you could protect it somehow, but you're not going to be able to. You have to buff it or something. Like, I'd rather it just be an enchantment overall. Not that it would be all that hard to destroy if it was, but against somebody like me, it would be impossible because I just never do that. I don't have removal for enchantments and artifacts and things like that, but I also don't have removal for minions either in most of my decks. But the form of removal comes from fighting on the board and just attacking in, which you can't even do in this game, or it comes from something board-based like Master's Rebuke, right? That requires you to still have board control. So that shows you my philosophy in card games overall. Not that I don't play as other decks. I don't want to make it seem like that, but at least on a preferential level, that's how I like to play. That's all good and cute. At least we're getting off to like better starts here than normal, but the amount of land that you need or that you're going to have is very inadequate. Like even now, there's not much I can do. I even have more like a land-focused deck on behalf of this dude, but you would have to block there, but add to Palladium Mirror. Yeah, I like this whole like theme park design thing that modern games have done a little bit. Like Skyrim was such a big hit, so let's make an MMO, Elder Scrolls Online. Let's make a card game, Elder Scrolls Legends. Like everything that's popular is gonna turn into like this thing where even PvZ does it, right? Like Plants vs Zombies was a big hit, so let's make a sequel. But then let's also make Garden Warfare, like a fucking Call of Duty knockoff. Let's also make a card game. Let's also do everything. So the inherent quality of each of those things is its own thing, but you know, is its own subject. But it doesn't mean that this guy doesn't even have a pet, or it's a ghost. Haha. One less to cast. When it enters the battlefield, you pay 3. Like, come on, dude. Do this to start giving stuff haste every turn, which would be kind of nice. Problem is I can't afford anything in the first place either. Or maybe I will be able to now, but I still only have 2 mana period, so I mean, whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. If that creature is zombie, purifying deals 2 to it instead, which is obviously not. How much did that cost? Cost 10. I don't know what's going on with all this shit. Okay. So speaking of not having removal, I'm just not going to have any ever. Doesn't mean I can't still win with all the flying stuff, but I have to keep finding a way to block this shit, I guess. I could give something rush, but I really don't see the point because, you know, or no, I can't even. Yeah, so watch me still cheese him with flying. Because all we need is like 1 more good turn of that. You'll have like, make that a 4, make that a 4, make that a 8, so you just win. This is actually a pretty beautiful card back itself. If only the border was controlled a little bit better. Not the first time I've said that in recent times. United States liver, by the way, dweller. United States citizen would probably be the right way to say it. This thing does look pretty sick, but it's so expensive. You cast it, indestructible. Whenever the Ceaseless Hunger attacks, defending player... Wait, what the fuck is this card? I've seen it before, but... A force as voracious as time itself. Jesus Christ, dude. You almost shouldn't have to do anything here because you should just... Oh, no. He got the reach thing, obviously. Protection from multicolored. Stone Cold Serpent enters the battlefield. Like, this dude's literally playing like the Divine Serpent Gaff from... Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh! And all this kind of crazy endgame stuff. At least this is like very fun. It doesn't even mean it's that good. It's just like, you know, it's very, very interesting. Here, we'll attack with fucking all 3 of these, I guess. Deal 2 damage instead, which is not even going to do. Legendary creature, artifact creature, snake. This at least has a kind of a cool theme to it, but how much you want to bet it's actually good. But then again, it's never a sure thing how good some of these things are because they don't really, you know, you would see them more often, I guess. I've seen them like maybe once or twice, but you know, a game should always have stats like that built in. That's always fun for a card game. Show me my record, my wins, my losses, even with each deck, but my overall stats, stuff like that. Even Pokemon TCG Online did that before it went offline. Like, show me how many times have I seen this card, or how many times have I won or lost when seeing it, or how many times have my opponent had it in their deck, but I've not seen it. But that's always at the end of a game. It should always show you that, right? Show me what was in their hand. Show me what was in their, the rest in their deck, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'll let this guy have the honor, but Does that mean it was a tie, so we would have to go again to do this shit? As long as we do the daily quest, I don't even care. But the point is, these ones are deadlocked. So we drew it once. So basically, we're doing between green and red to see which deck does better, right? So the first match, green went 0-1. This went 0-1. Then this went on a 3-game win streak the second time because it was a draw, so we had to do it again. Then this one went on a 3-game win streak, and now we have to do it again. So, like, what the fuck? Let's give it, like, one more shot. Yeah, we've kind of already locked in what I'm going to do for the next draft. The 10K draft. I might actually save it for the beginning of next expansion. This is the discipline and minimalism that PvZ Heroes taught me, let's say. The fact that you're able to, you know, save stuff in reserve, even in a free-to-play context. Like for the event cards or for heroes or something. Like, you know, always have... So have like 1,000, 10,000 gold in this game and just have it in reserve. You can buy like a stupid pumpkin pet, I guess, but basically have it in reserve. And so pretend like that's 0. So it might not seem to benefit you, but if something big comes up that you want to buy with gold, which doesn't really happen in this game much, but in that game a lot, like, oh, there's an event card or there's a special pack in the shop that's going to cost like 300 gems. If you keep buying packs and running on empty, you're never going to have enough to actually do that. And it doesn't hurt you because you could always just buy packs with it whenever you want. So at least it puts the control in your hand. But it takes a certain amount of discipline, I guess, to hold back and actually do that. So can't be countered. I mean, I haven't been able to play this guy too much, but I do like him. Maybe my favorite card in the game, even though he's not really that good at all. But 6 mana, 7/6, can't be countered. Trample hexproof. Makes your opponent feel powerless is more important to me than actually winning. Oh shit, that actually kind of got me a little bit. Does it do that with each one? At least this is showing off like a cool animation aspect, but her hair and her head kind of clips off the side of the thing. Kind of dumb. We gotta make sure we put these down so we can get these very high value water cards. These two are both garbage tier, dude. 5 mana, 2/5, 6 mana, 4/5. Like, give me a break, dude. I never even banned these dudes who fucking put a promotion message in there. Because they normally only do it once. Sorry for bothering you. I want to offer you promotion. Viewers, followers, view bots, chat bots. The price is lower than any competitor. I won't read what it actually is, though, or I'll talk shit about it. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient order management panel. Chat panel. Everything is in your hands. Turn it on. Just press Alt F4 to activate. Ha ha ha. But you see, anybody would never offer me that if they had any understanding of my whole inherent nature, because I believe in meritocracy. Even if you could cheat the process, you would want to earn it yourself. That's the whole satisfaction. The treetop fruit argument. Psychology of Twitch tidbit of the day. Like, it only means something because you earned it. You wouldn't want it that way if you could just buy it or cheat the process. Which is why nobody ever would accuse me of cheating in like a hard mode or something, because you see how many times I fail, permadeaths and stuff. Like, the whole fun and satisfaction is overcoming an obstacle. Turn a random ad message into a whole philosophical lesson in life. I actually crafted this trick before I crafted the Carnage Tyrant, and the reason why was simply because of the fact that you're able to it is better with the buffs and stuff, you know, and even with the day-bound, night-bound capability. Sacrifice a creature. Okay, I guess we'll do that one because you have the desire to have the water. But see, the whole color thing isn't as bad as sometimes you think. Like, oh no, I don't have any blue land. But it's not that big of a deal because you only need one of them, right? All these cards, like, oh, it'll cost a 10 mana blue card, but it only has like a requirement of 2 blue. That's almost a good thing. Give me something to react to, haha, in chat. This is what some of these big streamers get spoiled by, regardless of, you know, obviously them earning that stature in the first place. But it feels kind of like, you know, so much of the content ends up coming from, oh, funny subs and donos or different chat messages and stuff like that. You know, oh, like Forsen playing GTA 4 had some of the funniest TTS messages ever. They had like a Trump and Obama like TTS voice or something. That's a classic fucking thing. But again, that's like doing a lot of the work for you. And Forsen's very much like me in almost his laziness with respect to his commentary a little bit. I say that respectfully, but it's like, you know, we had a similar style where we wouldn't talk much. We would just kind of play the game. But whatever, like let our high level of play speak for itself, clearly. I don't know if he's maybe different than that now, but he, like the amount that I'm talking now is completely antithetical to that. It's just a certain style. It almost seems like I talk too much now, but I mean, I can still play at a high level. We'll be a fucking chess grandmaster in 10 years, and then I'll show off. I just wanted to do the whole journey on stream, but I guess I really can't, right? Because it would take too long, or I wouldn't have the desire to really study on stream. I always say that I'm going to do it, and then I just can't bring myself to do it. You're just flooding the board like crazy, literally, because it's a blue card. This is way too much of an overcommit. Sacrifice a non-token creature, get rid of one of these. Or what if what I sacrificed would be, I guess they're already tapped, but I wish you could give it like to itself, you know? I guess you could block this with well, you're pretty much dead anyway, though. In before crazy one-turn infinite loop combo. Okay, so unless you can clear the board and heal and do all this kind of crazy crap, you should be fine. Use that thing that taps my minions for both 2 turns. But yeah, this is the ultimate flex on hexproof, right? Showing off the fact that you can't target it with stuff, but I can. Because usually in games like this, you would feel like, you know, an effect like that would limit you in such a way that you would say to yourself that you're not able to, you know, your opponent can't target it with spells and hero powers and things like that, but I can't target it either. But here you get the best of both worlds. We do get green to win there. I just want to get to a conclusion between these two decks to see, right, which one is done better here today. I wasn't even planning on playing a green at all. Look how hard it is for me to do that quest, too. It's rigged because the way the game works is unfair. Right, I can't destroy minions even if I want to, or I have to stack it with a removal. Use Rebuke. Okay, that's 2 in a row. He knows who I am, dude. He knows who I am in this game. That's the line I've said a couple times in chess lately. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but like, I'm the human calculator, dude. You know who I am in this game? I actually love what I've done with my chess format now, despite it coming off the back of something negative of me failing my challenge for the 3rd time, like 3 strikes and I'm out. But now I'm playing like a different version of chess every week in some way, like in Gary's mod or Roblox. That Roblox session, Roblox was the most fun I had playing a chess video game in a long time, aside from just playing it on the sites. Like, and the reason why is, again, you're just playing with 3D pieces and an active player base. So what a fitting time, what we get to look forward to tomorrow. So let me just see what we can do about these streaks. I almost hope I lose, but I'm not going to lose on purpose because, or we'll never really get to determine who's better. I'll just call it a draw. But let's get that organically, but it almost seems like we're going to win this one because they started off so slowly, clearly. Farah's headquarters. Yeah, I did that fucking Gary's mod cinema thing. Like, it shows you I'm getting in the mood for something a little bit different here. Just do all the things that I make fun of. Who would actually play chess on stream who's not actually a titled player or grandmaster? And then I start doing it ironically. Who would actually react to stuff, let alone their own stuff? And then I'm doing it a little bit here and there. It just intrigues me how many of these movie react channels are out there. It kind of pisses me off a little bit. On one hand, it almost doesn't seem like it should be allowed, but then again, they only show a little bit here and there, like a copyright. Oh shit, 3 in a row. Like a copyright kind of thing where they're able to get a certain amount through fair use, and also I just don't like the low level of it, right? It's one thing if you want to review a movie or give like a proper analysis on it, but a lot of it is just reactionary dog shit, like kind of like what you see in the streaming space. Like they're not really doing anything insightful on the game. They're just playing the game and just talking, kind of like what I'm doing now or what I've been doing a lot. But you know, I've become the very thing I swore to destroy. Maybe we'll we'll play like one game as red and we'll lose it on purpose just to end off in a proper way, because otherwise we'll never be able to see. Like we've already won 3 in a row here, so oh, look at this, a bigger clown than me with the fucking pumpkin thing. At least ours is like domesticated in the city over there. You do the carotid, I guess, there. Yeah, I like how you could look at it like it's a better category to play something like PvZ Heroes than it is to play Magic. Not because it's a actually more active category, but because it's so dead that you would be the only one in there, and people are so passionate about it that they'll watch you because of that. So you can almost try to dominate one, and I certainly didn't go into it knowing that or expecting that to be a factor, but it's like, you know, it's kind of a case where you'd rather do a small category as a small streamer because you can kind of dominate it and stuff like that, rather than trying to do it kind of on your own or whatever. Let's kill this sucker. Like you're kind of competing with everybody else, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. It helps you too, because like, oh, there's so many thousands and millions of people watching a category, so at least some of them will trickle down to you. Whereas normally with a dead category, it really will be dead and there's no point to it. But that's just one that happens to have a unusually enthusiastic fan base. I compared it to one game and now I can't remember what it was. Like there's something that doesn't seem like a super alive game, but of the people who do play it, they're super passionate about it. Maybe like Dota or something, or like certain old school games will have that to them. Team Fortress Classic or something. Right, like there'll be another, oh, here we go. Just for the fun of it, we'll play that. Rebuke one of these suckers down. Vigilance Trample, Treasure Token. Get rid of this clown. Aragorn lost to a shirtless dude. This is actually okay to play, or maybe I shouldn't. But this is even better than I even dreamed, because I really thought it was just spells. But in this game, spells are creatures too. So that's the first time that weird phrasing and consideration, like, so in other words, everything is a spell, or I guess enchantments aren't spells and things like that. So you're trying to tell me this isn't a spell, but this is, like, what the fuck? You're willing just to tank the damage to the face to play this very beautiful card. Can't be target of your opponent's abilities. Opponents your abilities control. Abilities your opponent controls. You get +1/+1 for each creature you control. Punish you for playing spells even more with that one there. Just do it to itself. Gain one. Oh god. At least it is going to be difficult for you to actually play anything at all, but you'll end up healing so much that it almost doesn't matter. So that's why they were so confident to tank some of this damage to the face. We were doing pretty good here too, but we discard the card, or you think you can just heal through it?
Honor and courage.
So that is very good if you can't get rid of it. What a weird thing. So I have one black card, I have a couple blue cards, and I have mostly green cards, but I don't have any land besides green, so it's kind of weird. 4/4, we can start pedaling away with that. Even though none of these are really good fucking... I can't play around that even if I am sort of locking them down. Yeah, this would be one of my favorite cards in the game because it's so, you know, anti-spell type stuff. But even better here, anti-spell and anti-minion. That's so good. And you are playing a bit dangerously for the simple fact that... Or no, you do have Vigilance, never mind. Play this sexy, vulgar homunculus. Or no, it's not even vulgar. What is that from? Or that's from Warlocks in Hearthstone. Okay, you could do this because you feel like gain 3 life. Oh my god, dude.
I've suffered worse.
I keep tapping. I've been called worse by better.
Now do you see the benefits?
You know, I got to stop
of peace?
tapping my stuff if tapping my stuff because I'm using it as mana. It seems surprising at this stage, but I only have 3 land down, I guess, base. You're somehow subverting even a card like this that's just able to fucking stop you from doing anything, but you're still winning without it somehow. So basically, she's hexproof. Why doesn't it just say that instead? It can't be a, I guess, even stuff beyond. Fuck. Blocking 5/5, blocking 6/6. There won't be anything I can actually do here still. She dealt with this like a boss, actually. It didn't bother her at all. So stupid, these heal buff fucking clown decks, dude. They're so annoying to deal with, whether they're that good or not in the big picture. Like, just everybody does it. It must just be very easy to make or somehow whatever. Okay, hurry up, dude.
Active. Light shall always conquer darkness.
Company leader. Doesn't look like any Aragorn I know. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose. What is this from? Like the fucking TV show or something? What is this? Okay, hurry up. You obviously win. But yeah, even there we punish them for using spells even more. Right, both of these combined, you draw a card when they use a spell, you damage them when they use a spell. So that's kind of bullshit, dude. We played this card a couple times and I do like it a lot. It's just, it hasn't been as good as you winning me these games, but I guess you can't blame it all the way. Like, okay, I don't want to do it because this is kind of still an interesting game, but you're really wasting my time. Or I guess I'm de facto conceding by letting you hit my face there because I still could have blocked and dragged it out a little more, but whatever. Okay, let's just play one game as red. So I won't really count this against it because we went on like, what, a 2-game streak or something, but we at least did the daily quest. So we're priming ourselves to be able to do a draft next time, but I might turn it down because what I want to do is I want to do one right when the expansion comes out. So the first episode I do of the next season is what I'll do. And even then it'll be like a best of 3 or like whatever, play till you win 3 games. That's a good hand because low cost stuff and obviously actually having lands in it. Oh wait, that's the card back that I thought I was using with this one, isn't it? Or no, I guess it's not. I don't have the card back. I just have the cover that looks like that. Or actually that maybe could be worse because you would rather have reduced the cost overall earlier. So that even that's a misplay. Do this and you can do both of them together. Now we get to play some really high value, high quality dragons quickly. Maybe I should try to match it if we win this one real quick, right? We had won 2 in a row. Or no, we had just won like 3 in a row because people like disconnected and stuff. So I don't even, I've lost count of how many. He's not really doing much. Or you could do both of these together, which is pretty nice. Just beat you down with my, you know, the equivalent of the mana stick stuff. But doesn't that make this look so shitty? Like, this could just give you 1 mana, like the green ones do. So why would you need to reduce a cost by 1? At least this has an ongoing persistent quality to it. And I guess it has haste for what that's worth. Like, not a very important effect, but still appreciate it. Or whatever. The chances are this isn't going to do as well as green, but maybe that's not to any credit of its own because a couple of those were just DC wins anyway. whatever. It took the whole episode just not to have a draw with these things, and now it's maybe just more for the sake of time. But I'm assuming green will be crowned the victor here if I do lose. Years ago, siblings Hanlon and Greta wandered the Sweet Tooth Village and were attacked by sinister living candy. Unlike Hanlon, Greta was able to escape with her life. Now she returns as a witch hunter to extract sweet justice. Yes, of course, the Candy Crush tie-in that they got to do. Crossover. Or I guess maybe that's part of what the frustration with the game is, or all those negative reviews. But generally, I still wouldn't rate it that way. Really, even I'm someone who holds against, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! The fact that you're forced to deal with all the synchro type bullshit. But at least here, it doesn't feel like... There are obviously forms of power creep, but there's still a lot of fun to be had in the middle range where it's not about that as much. Ooh, that is pretty nice, though. You go here, just try to reduce the cost of everything. Don't trade that in. Gains +1/+1 for each other creature you control. The flying, create a 1/1 cat bird creature token with flying. Other creatures flying +1. Go here. Okay, we're probably already gonna lose this, getting outfoxed by flying stuff, even though I'm supposed to be the master of that. Go here. Gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Not a very good thing. The blue and white are gonna have better value flying stuff than red, than dragons. And of course with white, that's no big surprise because the angels are usually pretty good value actually. There you go here. So probably red will fall before this. So green did better. Now we can do a best of 3 with green, but I won't even bother. It went on so long. I can do one next time. But no, I think I'm tempted not to do the draft. I'll actually decide that here. Right, because I'll actually just save it, which I had the chance to do that last month too, but then I just decided not to. Right, you have like some sort of emote thing too. Like for the first time ever, I have these arrows. Like my first emote ever, it took me like a year to get it. I guess I don't even know exactly how I got it either. It's not that I couldn't have blocked it, but whatever. I don't know if you can just tell with the pace of the game. Like, they have way too much value, way too quickly. I'm not going to be able to deal with it. I don't have removal. I don't have heals. I don't have a way to really come back from crazy things. So, that only got me to level 23. So, yeah. In the best case, I mean, you're going to get to 25. There's no fucking chance you'll get to 35. That's kind of unfair, isn't it? Like, 1, 2, 3 orbs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like, even... That's so bullshit, dude. And even using the pay-to-win thing, which I wouldn't do, or I mean using the money thing, doesn't seem like it would give you an extra orb. Like sometimes maybe it does, but none of these are actually giving you an orb, so what is the point? Or it doesn't even give you back the gems, you know, that you pay in. Even if you, I mean, it gives you a lot of valuable things, but it only gives you 400 gems and 2,000 gold, which is nowhere near what you paid into it. 2,000 to 4,000, right? 3,400 gems is worth way more than that. Okay, see you tomorrow.